IMSA President John Doonan. It's time for another one of our walk-in talks. You came up with the idea, I don't know how long ago, but we're here at Watkins Glen International, sailing 6-hour, part of the amazing half of the IMSA calendar, our enduros. We're in the midway point, but boy, everyone's already exhausted because folks like you and seemingly half the teams here coming back from the 24 hours of Le Mans. Let's talk about that. Some cool things announced there. So many teams from IMSA went there, some great success, big trophies taken home. You finally caught up on a little bit of sleep, but tell us about IMSA at the 24 hours of Le Mans. A lot of the news coming out too, very important to us.
Well, first of all, it's great to be back with you guys and great to be back home here at Watkins Glen International. Clearly, this place holds a rich history in general since 1948, but the first IMSA race here in '72 with Peter, Greg, and Hurley sticks in my mind. Tremendous opportunity each year to go to Le Mans. You know, I don't think in a lot of ways we get to the moment we are in our sport without the strategic alliance we have with the ACO.
Extension.
An extension we announced till 2032 of that, which I think further solidifies for the manufacturers, for the corporate partners, for the drivers, teams, and most of all for the fans to know that this platform, specifically endurance racing, is very stable for the foreseeable future. Really proud of that.
Big announcements there and/or unveilings, whether it's McLaren with their new LMDh, what we call GTP here. We have the Genesis with the Magma program. More and more and more that are coming here. I mean, the Dayglow Orange or close to is going to be sold out for sure.
We're going to fight over papaya.
Yeah. But we have these great things that are coming from new manufacturers that hopefully we'll have them here soon. Ford as well, confirming more aspects of what's coming with their GTP program. You know, a couple of those that we mentioned, or if not all, they're looking to start over in Europe first. But that extension with the ACO, this rule set through 2032, I gotta believe that helps you to have a lot more conversations here in the coming weeks and months with those manufacturers, maybe others we haven't heard of that might be interested, but seems like that longer runway could be something that makes this packed paddock even more full.
There's no doubt, and I think I said it exactly 1 year ago here on these grounds, but back in the camping area, that everyone states how important the North American market is to their growth on the brand side, on the road car side. So we continue to want to be that stage for them here in North America. We believe in what we have here with the Michelin Endurance Cup rounds, the Daytona, Sebring, Watkins, Indy, and Motul Petit Le Mans now. We believe in what the WeatherTech SportsCar Championship overall means, and I think in the meetings when we have with these manufacturers, we can be certainly confident in what we can offer them here. And to your point about the extension, the manufacturers that have committed, unveiled cars and announced that they're coming, this extension, my hope and the hope of Ed Bennett and Mr. France and myself, is that gives them a further stability that we talked about.
You know, if you invest and come in, got a long runway.
Correct.
And for those who are here, who might be thinking, well, is there a finish line coming up soon? Hopefully, this will inspire the current manufacturers to say, no, actually, we know we have more time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also, of course, there were some comments made alluded to the extension of the top category regulations, and you know, more to come on that.
Yeah. And that's a really interesting thing to know as well, right? Because here, although both forms of top prototypes, hypercar, LMH run in Europe, LMDh GTP is what we have here primarily, although we now have the gorgeous and glorious Aston Martin Valkyrie built to LMH. Oh my, it sounds good everywhere. This is something where there are these two formulas. I think you'd hope, if possible, there might be a way for those to come a little bit closer in the future. I know those talks haven't happened yet, but you're always thinking towards the future. What comes to mind there? Could that be an area of further conversations with our friends at the ACO and the WEC?
Yeah, and you know, without opening up the secret jar, there's been a lot of discussion about that. What does it look like going forward? There'll be a lot more meetings and discussions together to talk about what defines that going forward. I think number one, in the LMDh regulations, we have an opportunity for manufacturers to style a prototype race car to their brand.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I had the opportunity, seeing it from both sides, was to be part of that. And you see design teams that design the next Acura, BMW, Cadillac, Porsche, Lamborghini, getting this opportunity to design a race car. We want more of that. We want to allow them to express themselves and have the fans see their brand when they see a prototype. You know, we're in the entertainment business, so the engine note and the sounds that they make are critically important. Does someone want to change from, you know, a V8 to a V6 or V6 to a V8, or maybe bring back the old four-cylinder that I had? But you know, we need to sit down with all the manufacturers, with the partners. That includes a tremendous partner like Michelin, Bosch on the hybrid system, and define what that looks like. But I think all of us hope that we can spend time bringing those two different sets of technical regulations together in one top category. And we're going to work with Pierre, Fionn, Richard Mille, all of those colleagues to do that.
I love hearing that that's already front of mind, looking towards the future. And not to be a total homer, but in the GTP formula, LMH formula, has been a great success. It has, I think, single-handedly caused this massive rise in popularity for endurance racing over the last few years.
Yep.
You don't want to risk tanking that. But now that it's going good, we're going to change the regulations to something crazy. So it sounds like the spirit is let's modify and adjust compared to retool.
I don't want to overuse the word stability, but I think that's what everybody wants. But we also don't want to become stale. Yeah. And so, you know, the manufacturers have voted with their participation, and either announced or already competing is 9 manufacturers in the LMDh category. Beyond our wildest dreams. Like think about going to Riverside and Road America. Yeah. You know, as kids, we never saw that many. 4, 5, maybe. So that's double. You have, you know, 4 over in LMH. Over a dozen. Is that a baker's dozen? 13?
It's something like that, yeah.
So I think we're all proud of it. We just want to take really good care of it and make sure that any steps that we make are not complete revolutions, they're just evolutions.
I love that. Let's talk about fun and performance at Le Mans from IMSA teams. Our friends at AO Racing with Spike and LMP2 in the Pro-Am class. Hey, they got to bring home some cool hardware there. Other great success in LMP2, whether it's driver Louis Delatraz from the Wayne Taylor team, or also Inter-Europol as well with their victory. We had some big teams as well competing in the top class. Getting to be there and see it. Tell me about the pride you saw there. Action Express, huge representation in France.
Does us so proud. Number one, you know, Nick Boole goes there as the Jim Truman Award winner. Ori Fidani goes there as the Bob Aiken Award winner. You know, 2 icons of our sport, and especially sports car racing, that they've had the chance to go there and compete and fulfill dreams. And I saw guys and gals from the AWA team. Yep. And they just came back with excitement and energy. They were excited to come back to the WeatherTech SportsCar Championship, but they were excited. And of course, Penske and then the Porsche team, I'm so glad that they were able to secure a podium finish. But again, to your point, the drivers up and down, it was a bit of a reunion walking up and down the garage area there. And, you know, everybody, you know, we're a family here in IMSA, and it felt like we were rooting all of our family members on in unison, even though they were all in different entries.
Let's close on this, John. So we're here, Watkins Glen. Last weekend was Le Mans. Also last weekend here at Watkins Glen, HSR, Historic Sports Car Racing,
Yeah, the
which
classic
is
6 hour,
right.
presented by Mission Foods. Wish they would have stayed.
I know. So let's talk about that to close, because we know that in France as well, they are loving of their sports car racing, both modern and historic. Anything there, knowing that IMSA and the ACO and WEC do a lot of collaboration, anything you think we might see there on the historic side in the future? And also knowing that at the Rolex 24 Daytona, we did have for the first time this year an actual real HSR race. You think we could see more invitations of HSR during IMSA weekend so fans can see the current cars? These will all be historic cars in the future, but also some of the ones that maybe the older fans remember seeing back in the day.
I'm laughing because I feel like you've been in my briefcase or something, because you know, that idea, you know, will we see convergence in historic vintage historic racing? Potentially. And you know, Pierre Fillon and his group, Marco Jan now leads that with what Peter Otto has been over these years. Patrick Peters done a great job. We, of course, acquired HSR in January of 22. So there could be some opportunities from some of our HSR teams to go over to Le Mans and be at the Le Mans Classic, and maybe vice versa. These weekends, I would love nothing more than to have a dozen or 15 of the cars that ran last weekend. That
maybe stay over.
Rich IMSA history, stay over. At the very least, do some demonstrations. Obviously, with the schedule that you see, with only 4 series here this weekend, it's 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is great for the fans. It's just logistically, we got to work through some challenges to get it all and fit it all in. But we want to make sure that we're continuing to celebrate the traditions of IMSA past, but also make sure that everyone understands the promises of IMSA's future.
Watch us this season on NBC and Peacock. Be sure to subscribe to IMSA on YouTube and enjoy our brand new IMSA Endurance Hour podcast. And if you're interested in digital activation in motorsports, visit IMSA.com/partnership.